The movie starts at night in the forest. There are two men hiding there. One of them hears sounds and goes to check with his big knife. Suddenly, they get attacked by strange animals. They run away from the monster, and one of the guys called Number 3 tries to escape. But the boss of the bad guys catches him, takes his necklace, and kills him. Right there, the young man turns into dust and disappears. The boss puts the necklace on himself, with others showing that this guy isn't the first one he's done this to. Then the story switches to John Smith, also known as Number 4. He's having a good time swimming in the ocean with his pals. Later, when he's swimming with a girl, his leg starts glowing and it hurts him a lot. He also sees Number 3, who tells him about a big danger coming. People watch John acting weirdly and record it, making fun of him. John wakes up on the beach and meets a man named He, and each has a protect who must keep them safe from danger who protect. John sees the wound on his leg and realizes that Number 3 is dead. So he quickly takes John away from the beach house, destroying all the pictures with his friends before they leave. During their journey, John tells Armiri that he and 8 other kids with special powers ran away from their home planet Lone because it was attacked by the bad aliens called Magadorians or Mog that they saw earlier. Since the bad aliens have to kill the kids in order, the marks on John's legs show that the first 3 kids are already gone now. John's the next one thereafter her. They decide to move to an old house in Paradise, Ohio, to stay safe. There, John sees a poster of a football star named Bernie Kobar. A little lizard follows them secretly. Henri tries to erase John from social media so the bad aliens can't find him. Suddenly, they hear a strange noise outside. The lizard turns into a dog. John decides to keep him and calls him Bernie Carr. At first, Omri doesn't like the idea, but John says the dog's harmless. Later that night, Henry hides a mysterious box inside a wall clock without John knowing. It's a box from John's dad who passed away, but he'll get it when the time's right. Meanwhile, Number 6 comes to the bungalow to find John, but doesn't. She decides to burn it, and when it explodes, she finds out she can't get hurt by fire. The next day, John decides he wants to go to school after all. He promises to keep a low profile, so Henry reluctantly lets him go and gives him a phone. When he gets to school, the dog follows him. There, while waiting for his schedule, he sees Sarah in trouble for taking a picture of a teacher secretly, and he feels drawn to her. The school staff tells Sarah to show John to his locker. Mark and his friends come up to John and introduce themselves. After the bully leaves, John sees him bully a nerdy boy named Sam, and he throws away his skateboard. He gives Sam his skateboard back and becomes friends with him. After school, John sees Sam being bullied by Mark again. Angry, John throws a ball hard at one of Mark's friends, knocking him down. He realizes Sarah is interested in him when he sees her taking pictures of him secretly. That night, John finds a website where Sarah has all her photos, including a whole album of him. Henry deletes all of John's pictures on purpose so he can stay hidden. Meanwhile, the bad aliens find out that Number 4 is alive when they see the burn bungalow. The next day in class, John's hands start shining a really bright light called lumen. Henry notices the same light in John's watch and rushes to the school. Scared, John hides in the janitor's room and tries to stop the light. Henry shows up and tells him not to worry, saying the light means his superpowers are starting to show. When he gets to the big house, Omri tells him he'll get stronger and faster and needs to learn how to control his powers. Omri says he can't go back to school until he learns to control his powers. Interested in his new abilities, he shows them to the dog and sneaks out of the house through the window. He plays around with his powers, throwing a stone really high and jumping gracefully. Meanwhile, the bad alien leader buys a bunch of stuff from the grocery store and feeds it to strange big animals. Back to John, he unexpectedly sees Sarah on the street and takes her for a walk. They see Sam with his stepdad across the street. She asks him to come over for dinner and introduces him to her family. They say Sarah loves photography and suggest they go to the town's night carnival. After dinner, they go to her room and he finds out she doesn't like being photographed from her scrapbook. But his dog shows up outside barking and he has to leave. The school bully watches and go feeling jealous. The next day, Sam asks John about what happened to his hands in class, but John won't talk about it. While Sam advises his friend to stay away from Sarah, the pink paint that Mark had put in their lockers explodes. The paint ruins Sam's picture of his real dad, and he gets mad, attacking the bully. John's hands start glowing again, but he stays calm and walks away. While cleaning up in the bathroom, the nerdy boy tells John about his dad, who was really into aliens and vanished mysteriously. Sam thinks aliens took his dad. John sees Sarah in the hallway but decides not to talk to her. Henry, who's been looking into Sam's dad, goes to an old factory where he used to work. There he finds strange symbols on a pillar and a weird glowing rock on the ground called a locator. Henry takes it home to study. Meanwhile, John is in his room when he receives an invitation from Sarah to an event during the Spring Screen Festival. Sarah reveals that she and Mark used to be a couple, and that Mark purposely leaked all his secrets to others after their separation. The two then embark on a creepy carriage ride through the woods. When they arrive at the next area, Hell's Gate, Mark and his friends attack them and begin beating John. While another friend kidnaps Sarah and takes her to Mark, John is forced to use his abilities. He eventually rescues Sarah and nearly breaks Max's arm. He accompanies Sarah home and finally gets to kiss her. He realizes that he has become stronger when he breaks a lamppost with the palm of his hand. He visits Sam's house and reveals his true origins to him, confirming that his father was right all along. John tells Sam not to tell anyone what happened because it could be dangerous for them both, and Sam agrees. The next day, a sheriff who turns out to be Mark's dad comes to John's house and questions him about the fight with Mark. John says he wasn't paying attention and didn't do anything. Henry is proud of John for getting better at using his powers. Soon after, a video of John screaming in pain in the ocean goes viral, and Henry says they have to leave quickly because he can't get rid of it. But John loves Sarah and won't leave. He argues with Henry, and they fight a little. Henry gets kidnapped shortly after, and John has to go rescue him. He and Sam go together to where Henry is being held. John tells Sam to keep an eye on a man while he sneaks into the house. Inside, he finds articles about missing people and eventually finds Henry, who's unable to move. The people who kidnapped Henry turn out to be two guys who believe in crazy ideas sent by the bad aliens. One of the aliens breaks in and attacks them. As John and Sam run away, Henry fights the alien. Sam loses the car keys, so John uses his power to start the car. But just before they leave, the alien shows up and stabs Henry in the chest. As they drive off, Henry gives John a special knife and a tracker. He explains that Sam's dad used the rock to find other kids from their planet who escaped. He tells John to find them before he dies, because together they can stop the bad aliens. Meanwhile, the local sheriffs come to John's house and say he's a terrorist. Sarah starts to wonder who John really is and asks her boyfriend. As they're driving, Sam tells John he has another piece of the rock his dad found in Mexico while looking for aliens. John goes to Sarah's house to talk and say goodbye, but the cops show up and trap John and Sarah on the roof. Sarah falls off as she tries to stand up. Luckily, John saves her, using his power to move things with his mind. He shows off again by lifting up a police car using his power. They get away from the cops and go to school. At the same time, the bad aliens come in trucks and confront Mark and his dad. The boss alien tells Mark to bring them to John. Sam tells John that the aliens have surrounded the school as they try to escape. Number 6, also called Jane, shows up with her special weapon and helps them fight the aliens. The aliens release flying lizards, and Bernie turns into a scary monster that scares Sam. They finally get back together, but the monster starts causing chaos in the school. Bernie shows up and helps John fight the monster. They defeat the flying lizard after a long fight, but Bernie seems hurt and turns back into a dog. Jane, who is struggling, asks John to give her his light energy, and they team up to fight the alien, eventually beating it. They run to the soccer field where the boss alien and another monster are waiting. Jane and John work together and quickly take out all the guards, almost killing the boss alien. But the monster grabs Jane and John helps her with the lamp. Finally, John defeats the boss alien with a big explosion. They both survive because Jane can't get hurt by fire. The next day, they connect the blue rocks and find the other kids from their planet. Mark shows up unexpectedly and gives John Henry's strange box. Sam joins the group and John gives Sarah a final kiss. Suddenly, a hurt Bernie shows up and they all leave the town together. Subscribe for more videos like this, enable notifications, and leave a like to support the channel.